Donald. And if you had voter fraud happen to you, I would highly suggest you call these numbers. I would highly suggest you be heard, you be loud. I'm gonna leave a very important email and some numbers as well, whether it was with the Sharpie, with the ballots. And that's another thing. What the Dems don't understand is they were set up. And this is all gonna come out. It's all gonna come out. But it is very important at this time that we...
This is really a sting operation, contrary to what everybody else said. Trump knew this was happening. Eric knew this was happening and warned the public. I knew this was happening. However, I could not say anything about it. What happened was we watermarked every ballot with what's called the QFS blockchain encryption code. In other words, we know pretty well where every ballot is, where it went, and who has it. So this is not a stolen election. On the contrary.
And that's just the thing. The Dems were set up. They got set up. And it's all going to come out. They got set up with these ballots and the watermarks. And it's all going to come out. So just remain calm. Share the information. It's extremely important. I mean, we are up against big tech and the mainstream media. Big tech is going to suppress everything on the right, just like they've done. The mainstream media is going to continue to have the deep state Ds and the deep state and the cabal's back and everybody else's back that's on the left. So it's definitely the hardest thing for me is the censoring. And then again, on top of that, you have the left being backed by lies, and then they believe it and they try to throw it in your face. But
that are coming in today, tomorrow, yesterday, are all supposed to be postmarked the 3rd.
Do you believe that order still stands?
Yes, no doubt, considering that they still want us to pick up ballots tomorrow. They had a specific meeting, safety meeting, where one of the higher ups, Rob and Stephanie, basically told us to make sure we pick up the ballots and give them directly to the supervisor.
Rob, the postmaster.
Yes.
And you're telling me that they're still asking people to pick up ballots tomorrow, November 6th?
Yes.
There's a whistle.
When he was with me, that's illegal. I could go to jail. So I'm a little apprehensive to tell somebody, you know what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? And again, once he works with me once, he's going to say she's...
I guess Trump was right. I'm sorry.
About doing shit illegal?
I'm sorry?
About doing stuff illegal?
Yeah. They all said he was full of shit.
Oh, hell no, he's not. It's true. Yeah. Because you're not supposed to do that. If I have a bunch of them, I'll take...
We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
I did have something very bizarre happen to me the other day where I had multiple videos screen recorded, and then every time I went to post them on Facebook, they weren't in my photos. So that was a bit creepy there. Look, just remain calm, because there definitely is going to be a lot of chaos coming. The mainstream media, big tech, the deep state Ds, it's a very psychological thing they've tried to pull on everyone, because you have half the country actually thinking they won and already trying to throw it in people's faces. But in all actuality, when the smoke clears and the dust settles, going to be our president. That's what's going to happen. And when that happens, because the left thought they were going to win because of these double-digit fake polls, and then all the overnight fraud that happened in 4 a.m. with all these that were statistically and mathematically impossible if 100% of the votes go to just one candidate. So I thought I would maybe try to just explain this a different way. So let's say, hypothetical, put that out there, hypothetical situation. Let's say somebody's going to rob a bank and they got a crew of like 6 guys, right? And they're in the bank, they're robbing the bank, and they look over and one of the guys sees one of the hostages, this little old lady. She's calling the cops, right? Do you think in real life, in reality, that bank robber would go over to that woman and just give up and just say, "You called the cops? Oh my gosh, here," and just arms behind the back, bend over, take it, get hauled off, do 40 years to life? Now, we all know what would happen in reality. Those bank robbers would go out guns blazing even when the cops got there. That's why they're wearing armored plate and have their weapons, right? It's the same for the deep state. It's the same for all these deep state players. They know if Trump gets in, whether they've done treason, whether it's been corruption, whether it's been crimes against children or humanity, they know they're either going to be executed or probably serving life in prison, okay? And these are also people that feel no empathy as well. So it's not like they're really giving a shit about you. Do you think they're just going to roll over right now with this whole election? Do you think they're just going to give up their plans? No. They're going to go until the wheels fall off. We are cutting the head off a snake. And what happens when you cut the head off a snake? The body still thrashes around, and that's exactly what's happening. We're in the early stages of that. The people on the left, they have a tendency to think emotionally. Funding the police, something that has huge consequences long term, it's emotional thinking. It's an emotional decision. And if you look in history, you can see they've done this before. Hitler did this in Nazi Germany. He defunded the police. He brought in social workers that were called the brown shirts, and their job was to basically cause chaos and destruction. And as time went on, it snowballed from there. We all know the past. We all know history, right? Well, we should, but again, YouTube has removed so many videos that have to do with the brown shirts, defunding the police in Nazi Germany, because the powers that be, the mainstream media, the deep state Ds, the deep state cabal, big tech, they want history to repeat itself. They want a 1984 society, but it's not going to happen. The real problem is not the Democrat sitting across the office from you. It's the one that's corrupt, that's making all these crazy ass decisions. It's the media that is using psychology in a million different horrible ways to affect you in a negative way, to get you worked up, to get you emotional, to make bad choices and bad decisions. Because the more divided they can get us, the easier it will be for America to fall from within. You saw voter fraud in any way, shape, or form, hit up these emails, hit up these numbers, because we're not stopping until the damn wheels fall off either.